Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Monday morning to you from the Par-Mar Store studio. Welcome to the show. Ryan Nichols, the our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live comes to you from the Par-Mar Store studio. Par-Mar and Game Changer present the annual Par-Mar Shootout on the campus of West Virginia State University, February the 5th through the 8th. 4 big days with 8 exciting boys and girls basketball games each day. First games tip off very early, 9:30 in the morning. For a complete list of games, visit Par-Mar stores on Facebook or X. And if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. And we're brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group, including the all-new Thornhill Toyota on the Thornhill Motor Mile US 119 in Chapmanville, where their grand opening celebration continues. Visit in person on US 119 or online at thornhilltoyotawv.com. It is Martin Luther King Day, so happy Martin Luther King Day to you. Remember, it's a federal holiday, so no school, governmental offices are closed, banks, no mail service. But the weather waits for no one. It doesn't take a holiday, so we had that quick burst of snow early yesterday morning and some more during the late night hours last night. Now there's a lull waiting on the next big one to come through at some point late this afternoon, maybe midday to late afternoon and this evening. What exactly is it all going to mean and how much more? Meteorologist Bryan Hughes from StormTracker 13 will join us for a little information on that a little bit later on. Plus, Ashley Alford-Glance, the executive director of the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce, will be stopping by the Chamber's annual membership dinner, which is happening 1 week from this Friday, January the 26th. That'll be at the Valley Park Conference in Hurricane. Ashley will give us an update on that, plus some other things that are going on at Putnam County, too. And as always, your phone calls and texts are welcome. Again, Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Well, we have a new House of Delegates member representing a large portion of Charleston. Moore Capito was the House member representing the district. He opted to resign to concentrate on his bid for the Republican nomination for governor. Governor Justice last week made his choice. It's J.B. Akers to fill that role, and he joins us now. He's already been on duty, though, at the Capitol. J.B., good morning. How are you?
Thanks, man. I really appreciate you having me.
Thank you for being here. So, kind of got thrown into the fire. There really wasn't much of a lull there. I mean, you pretty much were named. They hand you a book and said, "Go," right?
Yeah. I mean, I had less than 24 hours notice, and it's funny because you had to apply to get the seat first of all. So you had to apply, and then out of the county, they named 3 people and sent those 3 names to the governor. So I can't say that it was a complete shock that I was picked, only because I was up for consideration. Right, yeah. But I had good friends who, during that process, which it only was a couple of days from the time we got our name submitted to the governor until I was chosen. And I had some friends who were like, "Oh, you know what's going to happen. Tell us what's going on." And I said, "I really have no idea," because the only thing you can say about Jim Justice in terms of knowing what he's going to do is the only thing predictable is he's sometimes unpredictable.
Very often.
Yeah, I mean, although I certainly appreciate his confidence in me, and I'm really humbled that he chose me, but I really had no idea what was going to happen. I was actually in a deposition because I'm a lawyer. It's my full-time job, and I've got a law practice in Charleston. So I was in a deposition, and I got a message that said, "Hey, can you take a phone call?" And that was Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, it was Tuesday afternoon late, and they called me and told me, which was great, and I was extremely excited about that. But then I had to go right back into the deposition. Then there was a press release right after that, and I had less than 24 hours to get all my stuff together. I want to say quickly that evening, aside from getting the phone call and being told that I was the pick, the best part about that day was my wife actually then got to swear me in the House of Delegates chamber, because my wife is Mayor Claire Akers. She's a Kanawha County Circuit Judge who's very well known and well respected in the community. So she got to go with me and my kids, and she actually swore me in. And they told me, and this is hopefully true, they think that that's the first time that a spouse ever swore in their spouse in the House of Delegates, which that was really cool. Yeah.
Well, and she probably, if she's like most wives, she probably swears at you.
Yeah,
but this time she's swearing you in. They're not exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it was a positive swearing in this time. It wasn't a swearing out. That's right. Yeah.
When you got home, it was a totally different story. Now, you mentioned you're an attorney, JB. Give us the rest of the bio, JB Akers. Where you're from? How did you get here? Just the whole deal.
Well, my background is really important in terms of this district because I was actually born at Bar H Hospital in Raleigh County. My family lived in Fayetteville at the time, so I was raised in Fayetteville, which everybody knows well, obviously, and they've got great news recently. They're part of the National Park System now over there.
Yeah.
But I was raised in a smaller town until around second grade. We moved to Cabell County when I was young, and then I graduated from Milton High School, which was a smaller high school, a very small AAA high school. So I know what it's like to live in a smaller community and be raised in a more rural environment. I've been in Charleston now, though, for about almost 25 years. So I've been in the city for a long time, raising my family here. But I have a good understanding of what the people in the more rural or suburban areas want out of their delegates, while also knowing what the folks in the city of Charleston want, which is important because this is a very diverse district in terms of the makeup. It's a pretty big district. It makes up about half of South Hills, or maybe a little more than half. It's almost all of Canal City, but then the rest of it goes down the river east. It then is almost the entire portion of what really is the entire southern portion of Kanawha County. Then it runs over west and takes up the Tornado area, and then runs back east again towards South Hills. So it's a mix of urban, suburban, and rural communities, and I understand the needs of all those folks.
Yeah, and that's interesting that, thank you for pointing that out, because sometimes with the districts, the way that they line up, it's pretty much all the same types of people, the same backgrounds and things of that nature. It's certainly not with that district that you're talking about. You couldn't get any more different than what some of those areas are.
It's really interesting because a lot of folks, obviously, people say West Virginia is a red state, which by and large it is, but we have some very deep pockets of blue, and Charleston is one of those places. My district, they call it Purple District. It's really split about 50-50 between Republicans and Democrats. It's pretty close. But one of the reasons I never asked the governor, but one of the reasons I think that I was chosen is because I had good success here back in 2018 when I ran for mayor. Some folks may remember my name from the mayoral race, which of course I lost that race, and I don't like to lose, but it was a close race. And the areas, importantly, two of the areas I won in that race in 2018 included I won all of South Hills and I won Canal City. So those places are in my district now, which I think is important because those folks obviously voted for me, and I'm a Republican. So for me to have a close race back in 2018, because you got to remember this too, Charleston demographically is still largely a Democrat city. Back in 2018, it was 52% Democrat, only 24% Republican, and it's still pretty close to those same numbers. I think Democrats are now about 48%, but Republicans are still only 24% in the city. So for me to have a close race in 2018, that means almost every Republican had to have voted for me, which is a compliment, and I'm glad of that. And I had to have a lot of Democrat crossover too. A lot of Democrats had to vote for me, and it was close. And you look at 2018, no at-large city council candidate who was a Republican won, which was the first time anybody could remember that happening. So it just was not a good Republican year. You had Ed Gaunch, who was in the state Senate. He lost because he got beat largely in the west side. He lost to Rich Lindsay that year. I didn't like to lose. But if I look back and I'm realistic about it, I take it as a compliment that it was a close race because I had so many people who supported me from both sides of the aisle. And I think that was important in this pick because I'm going to have the ability to talk to people who are Democrats and Republicans and get folks to come together and unify their voice and their needs.
But you learned a lot from that race too.
I did learn a lot.
Was that the first time you'd ever run for office?
First time I'd ever run. I have, and again, I have almost no one in my family who went to college, no one directly who was ever a lawyer, nobody ever involved in politics. So when I came to Charleston, this was not my background. And the first time I ran for office was in 2018, and really just worked my way up through that process by building relationships. I'll tell you, Dave, again, I've been a Republican since I was 18 years old. That's the only party I've ever been registered to. So I can literally say I'm a lifelong Republican. When I moved to Charleston in 99, a lot of times there was no one for me to vote for in the primary. And when you got to the general, the choice was already made. I mean, whoever the Democrat won the race, but I was a Republican anyway. And I actually volunteered, didn't know her at all, but I volunteered on now Senator Capito's first congressional campaign in 2000, just because I thought it was important to have some balance and have a Republican, win that race. And I was a big, fan of hers, just the things she said and what she stood for back then. So I got involved almost immediately, just trying to help like-minded folks win some of these races, and I built relationships over the years. But always still being someone that I feel like people can talk to. So I've got most of the people in my family are Democrats. Some of that was out of necessity, so you'd have somebody to vote for, but a lot of them still are. I've got people in my family who are labor members, teachers. My family comes from a coal mining background, so I understand the needs of that community and those voters and those folks. And so I'm always going to be somebody you can talk to. Now, one of the things I learned in 2018, unfortunately, is some people don't want to talk to you. Some people just want to criticize you, and that comes with the territory. So you've got to have a thick skin in this as well.
Right.
You have to be willing to take criticism, which you hope is constructive, because I'm not always going to be right, but I'm always going to listen. And I'm going to have to work very hard to meet the diverse needs of this district, and I will. I'm confident that I will do that.
Talking again with the new delegate for this for the 55th, right?
Yes, sir.
55th
That's
district.
it. Redistricts. So we're now 55. It would have been 35 before, but we're now
55.
Yeah.
J.B. Akers is with us. So I know it's early. And as I said, you literally got thrown into this thing early. But what's your impression been so far?
Well, I can tell you without a doubt that, and I hope this continues as long as possible, but folks in the Capitol have been extremely supportive and helpful to me. I've walked around and tried to meet as many people as possible, but as soon as I walked in, I had people coming up to me and said, "Hey, congratulations, let us know what we can do to help you," which is, we hear a lot of negative things about politics, and there's certainly criticism that's due. But Dave, most of the people who go to that Capitol, Republican or Democrat, go there with the right intentions. They want to go there to try to help people and get things done. There are some folks who I think we can maybe be a little more critical of than others, but by and large, those are nice folks who, we may disagree with them, but we should at least give them a chance. And, they've been very receptive to me. And I will say that right away, people, in trying to be helpful, started putting some bills in front of me saying, "Hey, do you want to sponsor this?" I'd have to say, "Well, I need to read it first."
Yeah. Thank you.
I want to see
Thank
what's I want to see what's in it first. It's very important to me to actually know what the bill says. I'm never going to be someone who, if a person, even if they're a friend or some special interest I generally support, they walk up and say, "Hey, will you sponsor this bill? You know us." I'm still going to say, "What's in it?"
Right.
I think that's extremely important.
I want to ask you about a couple of those things. And I know, as I said, you're still kind of learning your way around over there. But a lot of talk about the governor's budget, specifically his spending plan and proposed pay raises for public workers, including teachers. Any thoughts on that?
Well, the raises for the public employees, some Republicans, want to cut government every single time. Sometimes you just can't. I think those pay raises are going to be necessary because of the PEIA situation. Until we get a handle on PEIA, which is easier said than done, and make it so that people, the public employees aren't seeing increases in their PEIA premiums, which sometimes are just significant, we're going to have to offset that somehow. So I'm going to be in favor of that in terms of the raises. I think the public employees are going to need that. Some of the other budget proposals, he has a flat budget. He's taken some money out of the surplus, I think, to make up for some of his increases. But, I think if you look at the governor's proposals and ideas this year, he was actually, I think, it was a very sympathetic or maybe empathetic proposal in some of these things. He had some mental health money in there, which I think is important that a lot of times gets overlooked. Some family initiatives, some child care initiatives, which I think are also important, which we should support those as much as we're able to. I would say there's some things where I maybe would look for some tax decreases in some areas he didn't mention. Of course, those are always, again, easier said than done, but you have to be able to pay for them. But I thought overall it was a modest budget proposal. I know it got some criticism, maybe especially in the Senate side. That seems to be where most of his friction comes from. But it wasn't anything extreme that I saw. So I think most of it was pretty well received, and then we're just going to figure out how to get the details.
One other thing I want to ask about before we let you go, Senate President Craig Blair and also another Senator Mike Stewart have both gone on record as saying that they would support bringing back the death penalty, particularly for those who would manufacture or distribute fentanyl. Where are you on that?
That is, well, let me say this. I think in terms of, I think that there are people who commit crimes that are so heinous that, in my view, you could be subject to that penalty under certain circumstances. But I'll also say that as someone who respects the right to life, which I do, I'm a pro-life person. I've never made any bones about that. I think we should be consistent. So we're going to have to work out, how do you subject someone to that penalty? And to me, it probably needs to be something more than a beyond a reasonable doubt standard. I think we'd have to do something where we raise the burden of proof if we're going to talk about reinstituting that, if we're going to respect the right to life and make sure there's there's no possibility that an innocent person could ever be executed. And that's happened before.
Yeah.
So if we have a standard, for example, where it's beyond any doubt whatsoever, or we have an admission by someone who commits a completely heinous crime, I'd at least would be willing to discuss those things, because I think some folks, could subject themselves to that. But that's going to be an issue where, I don't want to just make that a red meat issue and say, I'm a Republican, I'm hardcore, I'm against crime, which I am all those things. I'm against crime. I think people who hurt others should be subject to penalties and punishment, but we got to do it the smart way.
Are you going to run for re-election?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've already filed. I'll tell people I don't have a website up yet. I didn't have time for that. But I'm going to be available anytime. I've got my numbers in the legislative website. I do have my picture and number up there, at least my email's on there. I got emails this weekend from constituents, which I responded to already. I always invite people. My personal cell phone number is on my legislative website. You can call that. You can email me, and I will get back to you. I'm very responsive to those things. And one of the things I actually like about this job is I actually like talking to people and meeting them.
Well, you're in the right business for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's by necessity, but I actually enjoy it. I like solving problems, and this is not a way. To me, some folks, I think, if they get elected to local office, they think the next step is the presidency.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm focused on making sure the people of this district are taken care of. My main focus, Dave, is jobs and the economy. When I ran for mayor, that was the main thing I talked about, was jobs and the economy. That has not changed. There's other issues that are important too, but I want to get people to work and make it so that we can raise our families here and get some big wins. I'll say this quickly. The state of West Virginia has had some big wins in the past couple of years economically. We cannot deny that, regardless of what your politics are. We've had some large projects moving to the state, but some of those need to be closer to the Kanawha Valley. And I want to get us in the conversation to restart some of our large industries here in this area. That would be great. It's just better for everybody.
Delegate J.B. Akers, we wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on the new seat. And you've already said that you will be running for re-election. You'll be filling out more capitos and you're running for re-election. So we wish you the best of luck. We'll have you on a couple times during the session. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Vote for Mary Claire Akers, too. She's running for judge.
Do you know she's on the show tomorrow?
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, is she really tomorrow?
Yeah, she's on the show tomorrow.
I knew it was coming up soon.
Yeah,
okay.
I think, she's on the show tomorrow. She reached out to me.
She's the more impressive of the two Akers. Everybody, please listen to her. She's a smart lady. She's great.
All right. J.B. Akers, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, presented in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Whether you're replacing a roof, remodeling a kitchen, or replacing a bathroom to keep it safe and keep it legal, get with Pinnacle Consultants. They can inspect your site, collect samples, perform lab analysis, and provide results within about a week. Testing all renovations for mold, asbestos, and lead is the law in West Virginia. Visit pinnaclecorp.net for Pinnacle Consultants, because what you don't know can hurt you. We're back after this with Ashley Alford-Glance for the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce here on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you looking for a technical job in the medical field? Generations is growing and looking to add on job-trained physical therapy techs to our rehab team. To apply, visit one of our 7 convenient locations or simply click on us at generationspt.com.
The time is finally here. It's the grand opening celebration of the all-new, redesigned Thornhill Toyota. Your next Toyota is waiting on the Thornhill Motor Mile in Chapmanville. Hey, this is Sydney, and I'm so excited to finally invite all of you to visit our new Thornhill Toyota facility. And just in time for Toyotathon, we're loaded and ready for your visit with the most inventory of the year of new Toyotas, certified Toyotas, and quality used vehicles. The grand opening celebration of the all-new Thornhill Toyota. Offers begin online at thornhilltoyotawv.com and drive on home from the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. Visit Thornhill for all the great details.
Here's how it works at Dunbar Furniture. The Moore family welcomes you, directs you to the area you're interested in, and you won't be bothered by pushy salespeople. Living room, dining room, bedroom furniture, mattresses, or the FlexSteel area. Largest selection of FlexSteel sofas, chairs, and recliners in the area. And the lowest prices, too. Give yourself plenty of browsing time. Dunbar Furniture and FlexSteel. Deal with home folks. Visit them on Facebook.
Unsure you're ready for retirement? That's understandable. After all, you only retire once. Make the smart choice and call 4th Avenue Financial. If it deals with retirement planning, you can be confident they have the experience you need. Retire right with 4th Avenue Financial. Go to 4thavenuefinancial.com or call 304-746-7977 to book your free introductory meeting today.
Securities offered through JW Co Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Co Advisors Incorporated, JW Co Financial, JW Co Advisors, and 4th Avenue Financial are unaffiliated entities.
926, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Hudson's Pizza. This month at your favorite Hudson's, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and an order of appetizer meatballs. Only $24.99. Dine-in, delivery, or pickup. Visit Hudson'sPizza.com. Text says, Dave, what does Delegate Akers think about gerrymandering, noting that his district is a perfect example of this practice? Dave, can we talk about important things today, like how the only constant of the last 30 years of the Cowboys underachieving and choking is Jerry Jones? I don't want to talk about it. Text says, I like J.B. Akers. He's a plaintiff's attorney through and through. Don't let him pretend otherwise. Ask him about all the money he's made suing employers, charities, coal companies, or other businesses, and state agencies. Text says, J.B. Akers will sponsor anything the NRA asks. Bet on it. Text says, sending our best wishes, Delegate J.B. Akers from his friends in the town of Clendenin. Always grateful how he and Mary Claire came up to our town in 2016 after the flood and worked so hard to help many of our folks to clean up and help get us back their home. He's a wonderful, giving person. Thank you, says a texter. Texter says, Dave, Kanawha Valley's a better place with J.B. Akers as our delegate. Charleston lost out big time when Goodwin snuck past him in a mayoral race. Akers understands it takes more than parties and parades to make a city prosper. Also dodged the chief of police scandal with Goodwin's poor judgment in choosing who leads our city's force, says a texter. Well, the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce is gearing up for their annual dinner. It's going to be held Friday the 26th at Valley Park Conference Center. Always the highlight of the year for businesses and residents, too, of Putnam County. Normally a sold-out crowd. Ashley Alford-Glance is the executive director of the Putnam County Chamber. She joins us now. Ashley, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Big doings next Friday night at Putnam County.
There are. But before we get started, I also received texts when I'm on the show, and I received a text that says, please ask Dave about the Cowboys.
I don't want to talk about football. I hate football. I can't wait. No, we're bringing the Reds Caravan back to Charleston next Wednesday, I think it is. That's my focus right now. Is baseball, maybe
You're
NASCAR.
A baseball fan now.
Well, I'm a huge baseball fan, and I can't stand football. And Ryan, shut that up. Ryan's there losing his mind. Just stop. All right.
Anyway,
let's move on. Let's move on before I cut you off. Go ahead.
Okay. Back to the annual dinner. Next Friday, January 26th, the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce will be celebrating with our annual dinner meeting. It's at Valley Park. And it is one of the largest networking events in Putnam County, and we're really, really proud to be able to host it here at our conference center. And we've got some great things planned for our guests, and it's ice-themed. So last year, Dave, if you remember, it was fire-themed, and we had some fire breathers inside Valley Park. And so this year, everyone makes fun of me, but I say we're cooling it down.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Last year we brought you the hottest party in town, and this year we're cooling it down. So it's going to be ice themed. We've got fireside grill, catering. We've got some great entertainment. We always love to bring some really fun entertainment to that event, and this year we've got some local entertainers that are going to be joining us. I think people are really going to like it. Something you've never seen before, which is also something we like to do, is bring something new and exciting. What else?
Well, I know tickets and sponsorships go quickly. Are either available now?
Yes. So the deadline is this coming Friday, which is the 19th?
For tickets, right?
For tickets and sponsorships, both. Yeah, tickets and sponsorships. So there's a couple ways that you can attend. You can buy an individual ticket. The price is $150. Or you can sponsor the event, and each sponsorship comes with an allotted amount of tickets depending on the sponsorship that you purchase. And so we are really, really grateful for all of our chamber members who purchase tickets and who sponsor the event, because this is one of our largest fundraisers of the year for the chamber as well. So.
It is indeed. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. From kitchens to paints to decks, straight framing wood, roofing metal, and anything else you may need, you'll find it at General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. We'll get back to the dinner here in a couple of moments, but what else is going on in Putnam County? I know it's an exciting place to be. We got businesses opening up. We got people back, moving in almost daily. There's a lot of buzz around Putnam County these days, Ashley.
Yeah, there is. We've got people moving in. We've got businesses opening. We've already had, let me think, actually, we've already had, it's the 15th of January, and I believe we have already had, 5 new businesses join the Putnam Chamber just this year already. And so we are really excited to be growing and be able to support these businesses in the area. You know, a lot of times we talk a lot about small business, and that is something that is really important to us. But we at the Chamber have businesses from large all the way up to, or from small all the way up to large businesses that we like to work with. So there's jobs. We have tons of employers that are hosting or that are looking for qualified employees. So if you're looking for a job, feel free to reach out to us here at the Chamber. And then another thing that is really exciting, our Putnam Chamber Network of Women is launching this month our Comeback Club. And that is a really cool thing that our women are doing, where they are helping women re-enter the workforce. So if you have been out of the workforce for a while and you'd like us to help you get reintegrated, give us a call at the Chamber. I could talk more about that later, Dave, but that's something that's being officially launched at the annual dinner on the 26th, is the Comeback Club.
That's good stuff. Again, we're talking to Ashley Alford-Glance from the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce, and I'll have you on again to talk about this in the future, but I did want to get this in there. You're going to be doing another one of these Dress for Success type events, and we'll have you on again to talk about that at a later time. But give me the basic idea on how that works.
Yeah, so Dress for Success, here at the Putnam Chamber, we love to partner with Dress for Success of the River Cities, which is a nonprofit organization that serves Putnam County as well as everything from Kanawha all the way over to Cabell and surrounding areas. And they do not have a physical location here in Putnam County, but we like to host a quarterly drive for them, at least, from during our normal operating hours, where you can bring your donations here to us, and then we'll make sure that they get to them. So the next one is February 7th here at Area 34. And then one other thing, Dave, we've got this week, we have a Lunch and Learn with Metronome, and it's about cybersecurity, all the different acronyms that are being thrown around in regards to cybersecurity now. So we have the folks from Metronome going to be here at Area 34 on Wednesday, and they're going to be talking about, what all those acronyms mean and how you can keep your company and your personal and yourself safe from cyber attacks.
And again, that's going to be on Wednesday. And again, all that information is available on their social media and also on their website. I want to say this about businesses, and then we'll take it back to the dinner. We'll let you go. One of the great things I like about Putnam County is it is a unique mix of locally owned businesses, from jewelry stores to restaurants to craft shops and things of that nature. But also, you still have your Kroger, and you still got your Target, which just opened not long ago. And there's even another side of another place is getting ready to open up there at Liberty Square. I just saw that sign about a week or so ago there at Liberty Square in Tays Valley. So it's a unique mix of just about something for everybody there in Putnam County.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what I like to say. I like to say we have everything you need and access to everything you want. So, within a stone's throw of your home here in Putnam County, you're going to have access to everything you need, whether it's, shopping for groceries or clothing or whatever it is, doctors, your insurance agents, your plumbers, your everything. But then because we are centrally located here in the Metro Valley, we have additional access to everything you might want. So, we do have that new edition of the Target, obviously, in our shopping plaza here at Liberty Square. And then everyone has seen the Michaels sign go up. So we'll be welcoming them to Putnam County soon. Yeah, exciting stuff. And I know, for me, I always have to mention the food, the eateries, and the restaurant Sergio's, which specializes in Italian food. They have opened up now in downtown Hurricane. I had dinner there a couple of weeks ago with some friends. The food there is phenomenal. It's right on Main Street in Hurricane, which is in the old Conley's Irish Pub, and Sergio is just doing a fantastic job. I mean, I've read and seen nothing but excellent reviews on that place, and it's a definite great addition to the several other great eateries that we have in Putnam County. Absolutely. That Sergio's, we're really proud of him and really excited for him. He also is the owner of the Guadalajara Modern Mexican over in Nitro. So if you've been there, you're familiar with his quality of food. And so excited to have that on Main Street. Love the renovations that he did to the building. That building has been a couple of different things, all things that we've truly, truly loved having. But he did a great job renovating it and getting it set up for his new Italian restaurant there on Main Street. So you can go down there and enjoy, a dining experience, a shopping experience. We've got some great other local restaurants on Main Street. Don't forget to, check out Belknap Dough Company. One thing, too, to mention about them, they have frozen fresh. So if you, if you like to just occasionally have a frozen pizza on hand at home, you can go down there and buy those. They're frozen. All you got to do is throw them in the oven, and then they taste just like you were at the restaurant, all locally sourced, not processed, all, just the quality you would get in the restaurant, but you can take that home with you. I love having them. We can also make them here at Area 34, and I promise I don't eat more than one a week.
Not more than one. You promised about that. Let's close it out by talking about the dinner again. It's the 26th, and information's available on the website. Give us the website again.
Yeah, putnamchamber.org. You can go on there and get your tickets online. If you have any trouble, give us a call. You can get tickets or sponsorships, and again, that deadline is Friday. We'll also be giving away our Mayo Lester Community Service Award, as well as our Putnam Crew Young Leader Award at that event, so we can't wait to tell you who those are going to be.
All right, Ashley, I appreciate you continue to do great things there in Putnam County. We will talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, Dave. Have a great day.
You as well. 23 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Bridge Valley. Are you interested in improving your company's IT workforce? Well, did you know that Bridge Valley offers custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap? At Bridge Valley, you can train for little or no cost with a 50-50 salary match. Bridge Valley can also supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships for more information. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. We're talking weather with Bryan Hughes from StormTracker 13 on the way next on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses live to make life better for you and your family.
Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Nearly every day, there's a company announcing new jobs in West Virginia. Thanks to the leadership of State Senator Eric Nelson, West Virginia's economy is growing and our future looks bright. Senator Eric Nelson has been part of the team advancing important pro-growth policies. And because Senator Eric Nelson has helped control government spending, West Virginians are receiving the biggest tax cut in our state's history. Vote for more jobs. Vote for lower taxes. Vote for State Senator Eric Nelson. Paid for by the committee to elect Eric Nelson.
West Virginia's top high school basketball talent will come together February the 5th through the 8th on the campus of West Virginia State University as Game Changer and Par-Mar stores present the Par-Mar Shootout. The shootout has been extended to 4 full days this year. Come see the top boys and girls teams in the state battle it out, 32 games in all. The first games tip off at 9:30 each morning. Game Changer and Par-Mar stores present the Par-Mar Shootout on the campus of West Virginia State University February 5th through the 8th. For a complete list of games, visit Par-Mar stores on Facebook and X. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. 20 minutes away from 10, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by your local insurance experts from Brightway, the Maze Agency of Tays Valley. From your home to your car, even to your pet, Brightway, the Maze Agency, will customize a perfect insurance plan for you. They are just agents or your friends and neighbors. Call John and Sherry today, 304-814-2509, or visit brightwaymaze.com. Everybody talking about the weather. Now, we had one round of snow early yesterday morning. Most of you woke up with that yesterday morning, albeit not a whole lot, but enough to create some driving problems. We had some more snow that rolled through the area late last night during the early morning hours this morning. There's more snow on the way. We understand. One thing for sure is once we get this snow system out of here, it's going to be pretty dang cold by the time Wednesday morning rolls around. I'm not a meteorologist, but he is, and he plays one on television, and he is in real life. Bryan Hughes from StormTracker 13. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm great. I know I'm doing better than you because, the Kansas City Chiefs won, the Detroit Lions won, and your Cowboys just sucked it up.
Aren't you from Texas?
Listen, I, as a kid, cheered for the Dallas Cowboys. I will cheer for the Dallas Cowboys the day Jerry Jones is dead. and we can move on with life.
Right. All right. So I'm going to ask you something real quick before we get to the snow, and that's about the wind. I don't know that I recall, and you're the expert here, I don't know that I recall that we've had as significant wind events as we've been having. Now, not so much with this particular round of snow, but we had some last week, and we had wind advisories the week before that. What's up with all the wind, man?
Really, the wind is just a product of the significant difference in temperatures and the pressure gradients as well between the two, between the storm systems that we've had, because you've had warm air that tries to work its way back in. You get that friction essentially between the two. You get air that mixes, and so you get in extreme temperature differences. You do get an enhancement of some of the wind.
All right. Well, it just seemed like to me that I didn't recall having that many like back to back like we had. All right, let's talk about the snow. As I said, we got some early yesterday morning. Churches had to cancel some other canceled services and whatever. And then it was pretty good later in the day. Then we had snow that rolled through the area last night. I know when I drove in from Tays Valley this morning, Tays Valley Road was in pretty bad shape. Had a difficult time getting out of my neighborhood, but the interstate was fine. But then as I got into downtown Charleston, it got a little dicey again. I'm inside a room with no windows. What are we looking at now?
Well, we're looking at the snow showers coming back in. We're starting to see the snow increasing across the area. And, as anybody who's out there driving around listening to the radio right now, you know that, once you get in the city streets and some of the neighborhood streets, it's treacherous. But the West Virginia Department of Highways has done a great job keeping up with the main interstates this morning, Turnpike as well. 119 has been a little dicey because of the fact that, it's been snowing more in the coal fields this morning in eastern Kentucky than it has anywhere else. But that band of snow is moving back into the Charleston area right now. So we've got a steady light snow that's continuing to come down. And really, I expect, there's going to be a couple of breaks in the action where we don't get any snow. We're just going to have clouds hanging around off and on throughout the day. But once we get back to about 5, 6 o'clock, that snow starts to increase across the area into the evening hours, and it'll be pretty steady as we get all the way up to about 11 midnight tonight.
And how much more additional snow are we looking at for the Charleston area?
Well, at this point, we're looking at an additional probably 3, maybe up to 4 inches of snow, compared to what we already have at this time. I am expecting, us to end up with, in the Charleston metro area, with about 4, maybe 5 inches worth of snow. There may be a spot or two around the Kanawha County that might hit 6 further south you go, and on top of a big hill. But I'm expecting about 4 to 5 in Charleston. It just slowly tapers off the further north you go. Once you get close to the Ohio River, up there, 1 to 3 inches. And, as you get down deep to the coal fields, we're talking, an easy 5 to 7 inches worth of snow. And that you could essentially draw a line now from around Paintsville, about 15 to 20 miles north of Paintsville, all the way up to about the, Clay and Nicholas County line back to the Flatwoods. And, they're up higher, 5 to 7 inches, a couple spots might hit 8.
And once we get this system out of here, then by the time early Wednesday morning rolls around, the snow's going to be out of here. As you said, probably wrap up here in the Charleston area. Late tonight could be some lingering showers or flurries early tomorrow morning. But the big deal after that, Brian, is going to be the temperatures. And it is going to be bone-chilling cold, my friend.
Yes, we're going to have cold. We haven't had this kind of cold since, since 2022 of Christmas. So we're going to have single digits for lows on Wednesday morning. I think we'll be around 7, 8 degrees here in Charleston. You're going to see wind chills are going to be around 5 degrees below zero. In some cases, higher up you get in the mountains of West Virginia, 15 to 20 degrees below zero for the extremes. But it's going to be one of those mornings. Listen, that's a morning that a lot of schools on Wednesday will delay. Or in some cases, they might even close, but they'll delay schools because you can't get all those buses warmed up. Anything that's melted is solidly frozen. A lot of times, your salt's not working too well. Mm-hmm. So you've got that going on, but it's going to be mostly sunny for the day. I mean, you're going to need the sunglasses that day. Thursday, we warm up to the mid-30s. Woo, heat wave. But then on Thursday night, going into Friday, we get some light sun showers. That one could be a 1 to 2 inch system, maybe 3 in a couple of spots. I think 1 to 2 will be a general rule of thumb for possibly Friday. And, and that's on the, that's right on the edge of an Arctic blast that comes back in for the weekend. But just so you know, this weekend will be the last one. Will be the last time for this big cold, because next week we'll be in the 40s and 50s for high.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that this morning, so we can just hold on and get through the next couple of days. By like midweek next week, Brian, you said that we're going to be in the mid-50s, right? Mid to upper 50s possibly.
Everything's going to be melted off. We don't have to worry about any of this snow hanging around, so the ice, things of that nature. So, yeah, it's going to be nice all next week. But we do expect in the long-range forecast, and once they get past today, probably, or at some point later today, we're going to get back into our longer range and try to nail down much of February. But much of February will be quite cold.
Well, and it is wintertime. Keep that in mind. We've been kind of spoiled the last couple of years, because you mentioned that really cold snap we had around Christmas in 2022, but we haven't had a whole heck of a lot. So, well, Brian, you and Spencer and the entire team there, Chris, keep doing what you do. I was hanging out in your studio Friday afternoon. I was on the premises Friday afternoon.
No one told me about this. I'm very upset. I did not get to see you.
But see, my desire here is to be the king of all media, like you are. I've got some TV spots that are running on your station. I understand. I was talking to Mark. I've got an upcoming appearance on Inside West Virginia Politics. I'm coming for your job, Brian.
Well, here's the deal. There's always you've got to check mark a couple of boxes. There has to be a minor sex scandal and at least a stint in a brief stint in a rehab.
All right.
So once you've done that, you're next level.
All right. Sounds good, Brian. As always, man. I mean, in all seriousness, you guys just do a fantastic job. You and Spencer, Chris, and everybody there. So keep doing what you do. We'll talk again soon, my friend. Thanks a lot.
Sounds good.
12 minutes away from 10. Bigley, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. In the heart of West Virginia, there exists a profound force that goes beyond the realm of sports, transcending limitations and fostering a sense of belonging. Special Olympics, what I'm talking about. It's a remarkable initiative showcased in the latest episode of West Virginia Enriched in collaboration with Huntington, and it stands as a testament to the power of determination, unity, and unwavering support. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580 WCHS. Our phone calls to the show are a service of Bigley, Piggly, Wiggly. When shopping at your Bigley, Piggly, Wiggly, be sure to join their loyalty program. You can save big at the gas pumps and throughout the store with their electronic coupons and free gifts on Fridays just for stopping by. From farm to table, Bigley, Piggly, Wiggly. The best kept secret in Charleston. Texting service is provided by Fruth, your hometown family pharmacy. Find the perfect over-the-counter hearing aid at Fruth with NuvoMed hearing aids. Plus, they make it easier than ever to transfer your prescription services to them. Again, Fruth has been your hometown family pharmacy for over 71 years. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. We'll take a break. We're back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for supporting local small businesses.
Hello, I am Judge Stephanie Abraham, and I am running for Circuit Court here in Kanawha County.
Judge Stephanie Abraham was appointed to the Circuit Court by Governor Jim Justice. Judge Stephanie Abraham owned and managed her own law firm and was an attorney for the Department of Education and general counsel for the State Board of Education. Judge Stephanie Abraham is a fair and balanced but tough judge who will always follow the Constitution to protect liberty and achieve justice for all.
I am Judge Stephanie Abraham. I appreciate your vote for Kanawha County Circuit Court.
Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Stephanie Abraham.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call Term Busters for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, call Term Busters. 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Are you fascinated by the unexplained? Then you need to tune in to the award-winning program Weird Darkness on 580 WCHS. Hosted by Darren Millar, named as one of the best storytellers in podcasting, Weird Darkness brings you the best in lore, crime, paranormal, and unexplained stories, like unsolved mysteries with a dash of In Search Of. If you love a good mystery, Weird Darkness is the show for you. Tune in and join the millions of listeners who are hooked on the eerie and unexplained. Welcome, weirdos. Weird Darkness, Sunday nights at 11 on 580 WCHS.
9 minutes away from 10, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Meeks Realty Group. As a locally owned real estate powerhouse, they specialize in residential and commercial properties. No property too big or too small for Meeks. With their team of the finest realtors in the business, Meeks Realty Group is your trusted partner in finding your dream home or your dream commercial investment. Call them today, 304-401-1101, or visit meeks.us. We got a couple of big events going on I want to let you know about. First of all, this coming Thursday, first time we've done this, we're teaming up with the sponsor of the show, the Thornhill Auto Group, to do something we're calling the Drop Your Socks drive-through. Now, we're going to be out on the cold parking lot Thursday here at 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston, and we're asking you to bring new socks to us. Please, not your old ones, okay? Some new ones in packages. You can bring us a single package, or you can bring us 4 or 5 boxes of socks. Whatever you can afford, we're going to give it. Actually, we're teaming up with folks at Mountain Mission for this. So get your socks to us. Again, my man Rob Reel, this is kind of his baby. You heard him talking about it last week on our sister station, 96.1 Superstar Country KWS. But we're all going to be involved in this. We team up with Thornhill Auto Group for Drop Your Socks, the drive-through. We start early before you go to work on Thursday morning. Also, this weekend, the Hunting and Fishing Show is back at the Coliseum Convention Center Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, hours noon till 9 on Friday, 9 to 9 Saturday, 10 to 5 on Sunday. Admission price $12 for those 13 and up, and free for those under that. And a lot of your favorite WVRC media folks will be hanging out there, so we hope to see you there this weekend. And on the show on Wednesday, we're going to have someone on to talk about the West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show, which is this weekend at the Coliseum Convention Center. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Maybe wintertime, but we're always thinking baseball over at the ballpark. 2024 Dirty Bird schedule posted at dirtybirdsbaseball.com. Visit their website for ticket information, promotions, team merchandise, and more. Your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Well, of course, it is Martin Luther King Day. As I mentioned earlier, no school today. Courthouses, city halls, banks, post offices, etc., all closed. Several events are planned in the area to commemorate the King holiday. One just got underway at the Culture Center on the Capitol grounds. That one's sponsored by the Herbert Henderson Office of Minority Affairs. Also today, at the Martin Luther King Community Center on Donnelly Street here in Charleston, there is an event scheduled to begin about 6 minutes from now. This one is sponsored by the Lynx Corporation of Charleston, the Charleston Institute chapter. This one is really aimed at kids who are out of school today. Our sister station 107.3 The Beat, Woody Woods and G and DJ Ackright and those folks have been really, really active in helping to promote this particular event. Again, it gets underway at the King Community Center on Donnelly Street starting at 10 this morning. Several other sponsors are included, including the City of Charleston on that. I've got information posted about that one at Dave Allen Radio on Facebook and the Dave Allen Show on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. And there's a story about several of the other big events that are going on in this area and other areas around the state, because it actually was started over the weekend. Mike Nolte's got that story posted at WVMetroNews.com. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruth Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show and 580 Live, brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Well, Mayor Goodwin is set to do her State of the City speech tomorrow night. Now, normally, it's held, as best I recall, and I could be wrong about this, but it's normally held a little closer to the beginning of the new year. But with the New Year's and the holidays, Christmas and New Year's, falling on a Monday, I'm presuming that's why it was moved up a little bit. Mayor Goodwin will be on the show tomorrow to talk about it. The year 2020, what year am I in? 2023 was a fantastic year for the city of Charleston. Lots of good things going on, but some other things not so good. That's comes with being the largest city in the state of West Virginia, the capital city. So what does 2024 hold? Well, we're going to find out by talking to Mayor Goodwin on the show tomorrow. And again, her State of the City speech will be tomorrow night. Also, I mentioned this earlier, tomorrow, Judge Mary Claire Akers, the husband of new delegate from the 55th, J.B. Akers. Mary Claire Akers is going to be on the show tomorrow as well. And Ryan, I love to talk food. Well, there's going to be a chili cook-off happening soon in South Charleston. Talked to Randy and those fine folks at the city of South Charleston about that a couple of weeks ago, so we've lined up somebody to talk about that coming up on the show tomorrow as well. And with the temperatures that we are going to be, what we've already seen, and with the snow and with, when you head out to work Wednesday morning, it's going to be 5 degrees with the wind chill much lower than that. Good time to talk chili. It really is. I want to mention this. I've been keeping an eye on this story out of Wheeling. Now, I know we don't generally concern ourselves on this show with things going on in Wheeling being so far away. But this one is a little different because it actually deals with an issue that we also face here in Charleston, and for that matter, several other communities here in the Kanawha Valley as well. And, of course, I'm talking about homelessness. Now, we have a story posted about this at the website, wvmetronews.com. The American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, says that they may take legal action against the city of Wheeling regarding the city's treatment of the homeless population there in Wheeling. Now, the city has had a plan to demolish homeless encampments. And this is not something, again, this is why I'm kind of tying this back into Charleston, because you remember this was a thing in the news with former Mayor Danny Jones at one point. But the city has a plan moving into the new year. They actually passed this toward the end of last year, and this new regulation, basically, from what I understand, basically outlaw camping, unless you're in the woods and you're an actual camper. So they passed this legal action. And so now the ACLU is going after the city of Wheeling regarding this. On Friday, the American Civil Liberties Union said they are giving the city of Wheeling until tomorrow, in their words, to, quote, rectify constitutional issues, end quote, with that new city ordinance that went into effect, again, with the passage and the flip of the calendar to 2024. Aubrey Sparks, who is the director of the ACLU of West Virginia, says the ordinance criminalizes being homeless. And that, Sparks says, is unconstitutional. Now, you may have heard Wheeling Mayor Elliott on the show with Hoppy talking about it from time to time. We'll see what happens here because, again, the ACLU sent this letter. And I know it's Wheeling, but it has ramifications perhaps for other cities, including Charleston, around the state of West Virginia. So we'll see what happens. The ACLU has given the city of Wheeling till tomorrow, as they said, to rectify this situation. Read more about it. It's a pretty involved story over at WVMetroNews.com. We'll keep an eye on it for you. All right, gotta go. Thank you to my guests on the show today, the new delegate from the 55th, J.B. Akers, meteorologist Bryan Hughes from StormTracker 13, and Ashley Alford-Glance from the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce. Coming up on the show tomorrow, again, we're going to be talking chili with the South Charleston Chili Cook-Off. Charleston Mayor Amy Goodwin will stop by, as well as Judge Mary Claire Akers. Keep a close eye on the weather and take it easy on the roads. They are still, and they're going to remain slick for some time. Hoppy's coming up with Talk Line at 10:06. I will see you tomorrow morning. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM, W243DRFM Charleston, and W283AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.